It's football season in America, or, well, it's American football season, or, well, you know, it's really the end of American football season. Anyway, it's Super Bowl time in America, and that means that a lot of people will be watching the culmination of this year's football schedule as two teams compete to see who will become the new NFL champions. Oh, by the way, I know nothing about football, so don't come after me in the comments, you know, with any of the jokes you hear in this episode, okay? Because I'm just taking it on faith that they are apt for the subject matter from the source that I acquired them from. I'm not a football fan, alright? I don't even watch the Super Bowl for the commercials, okay? That sounds crazy to me. Watching, you know, commercials on purpose, that's like Hulu Plus. I could care less about this whole thing. However, I will say, I do like nachos. Yeah. And I do like excuses to eat potato chips. And chili dogs. And... Anyway, as it was explained to me in a way so I could understand it, this year's Super Bowl features a bunch of ECW fans going against an evil heel faction, which is led by the horrible head coach who pulled the ultimate heel turn on the New York Jets, which could only have been made worse if he ripped off his Jets shirt to reveal a Patriots one underneath after cheer-shotting Bill Parcells. I was also informed to say, can you blame him? That's the football equivalent of leaving 3MB to join the Four Horsemen. I was then later informed to tell you, yeah, that's because that's all the Pats do is just cheat and take advantage of biased officiating, and 3MB had a former WWE champ and a former NXT champ. I was then later told to tell you that, yeah, typical, always talking about how you used to be champs, and that this should continue for the next 50 years. And after that, I stopped listening and I went to go get food. Anyway, this all got me thinking. Football and wrestling go together a lot more often than people might think. After they hang up their spurs or their wings or their giant feet or whatever, some players pull a reverse Brock Lesnar who left wrestling to try football by pulling a regular Brock Lesnar who left football to then, you know, wrestle. Now, there are a lot of examples of these, too many to name in just one episode, but we are going to get into some of them right now, because today's topic is... Before Pillman got a gun, Flying Brian was part of the Cincinnati Bengals. I was told that back then they were known as the Cincinnati Bungles, which is a franchise that is so notoriously cheap that professional wrestling became a more lucrative option. As sad as that might be. Pillman was a nose tackle. A nose tackle? You sure that's a thing? It is? Okay. He was a nose tackle. He also played college football for the U. Oh wait, no, he didn't play for the U? I thought he played for Miami Oh, the University of Miami is in Miami, Florida, but Miami University is in Ohio. I have no idea how you guys make any sense of any of this. Anyway, Brian Pillman played college football, then pro wrestling. Okay? Done. Bill Goldberg played for the Atlanta Falcons during a time when they couldn't sell out the Georgia Dome even if they littered the seats with money. Of course, later on, Goldberg would rectify that, but with wrestling. Oh, I was told to bring up the fact that the Falcons choked really bad in last year's Super Bowl against the Patriots. Well, the Patriots again? They must be pretty good or something, huh? Oh, what's that? No, they're terrible. Oh, they're terrible. It's the equivalent of Roman Reigns always going to the main event at WrestleMania every year. Oh, no, that's bad. Okay, I get it. Oh, because wrestling's just as rigged as football nowadays, you say? What's that? Oh, I'm now being told to tell you to shut up. He says he heard you. Before he was ruining the Horsemen by being the least important person on one of the greatest teams in wrestling history, Steve Mongo McMichael was apparently the least important person on one of the best football defenses in all of history. And he also did the Super Bowl shuffle, which I was told is embarrassing for some reason. Oh yeah, that's definitely awful. Mojo Rawley was so annoying that he couldn't get on a State Farm commercial like every other Green Bay Packer, and it's only being pushed now because he's friends with Rob Gronkowski, which I don't really know why that matters. Baron Corbin. I already got this guy in another episode. He still sucks. Rugged Ron Simmons made the 6th round of the NFL draft, which was sadly way higher than he made it in the WWE draft. And after a brief stint in the Cleveland Browns, Farouk went to the USFL? The what? What is that? And he played for the Tampa Bay Bandits along with another future wrestler, Lex Luger. Now, before all that, he played for Florida State, which means that he probably got paid more money for playing college football than he ever did in wrestling. And finally, we have to talk about WrestleMania 11, which saw Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor in the main event. Now, what was really surprising about this was that Lawrence Taylor actually did fairly well, all things considered. Bam Bam Bigelow was paid $250,000 just for putting over a celebrity. In addition, Bigelow doesn't get nearly enough credit for being able to carry Taylor throughout this match. And while this was by no means a clinic of any kind, and yes, this is just another example of more WWF circus wrestling, when considering guys like Steve Mongo McMichael for his first and only match, LT did much better than he probably should have. After all, the man gave it his all, and despite his great conditioning as a football player, as any amateur wrestler will tell you, wrestling is one of the most exhausting sports and it requires a totally different kind of conditioning, which definitely doesn't change in the pro level. And even with all the training that Lawrence Taylor did receive, he was still blown out by the end of the match to the point where he couldn't even stand and he could barely even speak. Well, there you go, some football related wrestling stuff. Hope you enjoy your football day and use the Super Bowl for what it's really meant to be, the final blow to your New Year's resolution, which further gives you a reason to hate pants. Oh, what's that? I was told to tell you that you suck and your entire sports team suck and his team is better. I don't get it. The Jets aren't even in the Super Bowl. Why do you keep talking about them? Oh, I was told to tell you that's just what they do.